Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. And it's Wednesday, so you already know what that means. Apparently, violence and arson and burning houses down and beating people up and knocking people upside the head with champagne bottles, because that's what we got on this week's episode of Dynamite, man. This is the go home show to All Out, which is taking place this weekend in Chicago. And I gotta say, man, even though it's been a 2-week build, the build for All Out been pretty solid, man. Just fueled off hate and just people not getting along and violence and beautiful. Probably one of the best go home episodes of Dynamite they've done in a while. But let's just go ahead and talk about the main thing you guys are here to hear me talk about, and that is what Hangman did to whose house? Swerve's house. So earlier in the day on social media, on AEW social media, they posted a video of Swerve and Prince Nana at Swerve's childhood home. And basically Swerve was telling this story about how, you know, that was the house he grew up in, and they had to leave and vacate. And, you know, Swerve's family fell on hard times. And as a kid, Swerve promised that one day he was going to, you know, do whatever he could to buy his childhood home back. And that's what he did with the new contract money he got, and he used that extension money to pay for his childhood home. And it was a beautiful moment between him and Prince Nana. As a wrestling fan, you knew something was going to happen to that damn house. You just knew it. And everybody on Twitter was thinking the exact same thing. People were posting Twitter gifs of Randy Orton posing in front of Bray Wyatt's burning house, because we already knew what time it was. Because Hangman is crazy, he's off his rocker, he's unhinged, he's out to lunch, he's lost his mind. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to the main event segment, which was supposed to be a contract signing between Hangman and Swerve. Swerve comes out first. He's ready to sign the contract, and Tony Schiavone introduces Hangman, but Hangman doesn't come out. So Schiavone apologizes and tries to do it again. Hangman music hits, and he doesn't come out. And I'm at home like, I know what's about to happen, and I prayed for it, and it happened. Because you see on the Contron, you see Hangman out at whose house? Swerve's house. And he's talking about how, you know, the floors are dirty and Swerve's dad didn't love him, and how Swerve has a fiance, but the fiance kind of left him and then she took the kids. I'm like, yo, Hangman is going full Kendrick Lamar right now. And this leads to a shot of him outside of Swerve's house, and he's talking, he's got his whiskey, and you see him with a gas canister. He's pouring gas outside of the house. He lights a match and he lights the whole house on fire. And I'm like, yes, I knew it. We all knew it. We knew what was gonna happen, and it was still cool, and it gave us one of the coolest shots in wrestling history and AEW history. The crowd was chanting, "This is arson." Swerve was in the middle of the ring crying. He was like, "No, my house." So I'm assuming Swerve is homeless now. His kids won't have a place to stay. His grandkids, future generations of Swerves will be homeless, all because Swerve decided to break into Hangman's house last year, and this is the culmination. And as AEW Dynamite is ending, it's announced that not only is it going to be a steel cage match, but it's going to be unsanctioned, which means anything goes. This won't count against anybody's win-loss record, but at this point, wins and losses don't matter. Hangman and Swerve just want to murder each other at this point, because a house for a house, an eye for an eye, blood for blood. This is the epitome of a blood feud. And I'm gonna be honest. I've been watching AEW since its inception. And I gotta say that this is probably the best feud in AEW history. We've seen the progression of Hangman, his descent into madness, the rise of Swerve. It's just beautiful storytelling for everybody who says that AEW doesn't do storytelling. Just watch this feud. Let's watch what Hangman and Swerve have done over this past year, and you'll see peak storytelling. And as for the rest of this episode of Dynamite, man, it started off with Daniel Garcia. He's coming out to the ring. He's calling out MJF. He says he's not in the mood for talking. He's ready to fight. But of course, it's MJF, and he's always in the mood to talk. And he's talking and he's saying words. And Daniel Garcia's like, no, I'm not trying to hear none of this. Listen, everything about you is fake. Your clothes are fake. Your tan is fake. Your jewelry is fake. That hairline is fake that he went to Turkey to get, and they kind of messed it up anyway. And he's addressing the hairline allegations for MJF, and I thought that was pretty funny. And honestly, Daniel Garcia kind of cooked MJF on the mic on this one. And you know, MJF just resorted to what he normally does and just talked about Daniel Garcia's mom. And Daniel Garcia, he's trying to get up to where MJF is. He's fighting off security. MJF catches him slipping. He knocks him upside the head with a champagne bottle. And then he says that at All Out, he's going to put Daniel Garcia out of his misery. Another rivalry just fueled off hate, man. Just hate. This should be sponsored by the Player Haters Ball for all this hate that's going on this pay-per-view. So next up we have the conglomeration, and they're talking about the trios match. That was the main event match against the BCC. And you know, Mark Briscoe is doing his thing. You know, he's giving words of encouragement, and the word of the day was stupendous. And you know, he's doing his thing. He's carrying on. So we can just go ahead and cut to the main event, which was a trios match. The BCC with Pac taking on the conglomeration with their honorary conglomerate and Will Ospreay. And this was a really fun match, man. It was giving us a little taste of what we can expect between Will Ospreay and Pac. The BCC ended up getting the win. After the match, the Elite come out. They're trying to get the beat down on Bryan Danielson. But the BCC, they overcome the odds. And then you have Claudio laying out the challenge. He says, listen, me and Will don't have nothing to do. We want some more gold. We want the gold sucker. And they end up challenging the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team titles at All Out. Tony Khan makes it official, and I'm like, it's on and popping. And then you have Bryan Danielson saying that at All Out, he's gonna kick Jack Perry's effing head in, and it was going like, yeah. But noticeably, somebody that was missing from the shenanigans, that was missing from the festivities, was Jon Moxley, who we saw earlier in the night with Marina Shafir. They're beating up security on the way to the ring, and as they're making their way to the ring, they pass by the Elite, especially Jack Perry, and Jon Moxley says, you know what, man, despite what everyone says, you're a sweet kid. So that's something to keep your eye on, because right now Jack Perry is the opponent for Bryan Danielson. Ever since Jon Moxley has come back, we haven't seen him with the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm thinking that this is leading to a match between Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, because when I was doing my All Out, whatever the last pay-per-view was, predictions, I said that Jon Moxley was gonna win that number one contender battle royal gauntlet whatever match, and my thinking was this was gonna lead to Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. And it appears that we're still getting to the same destination. We're just taking a different route, and I have absolutely no problem with this. Jon Moxley's out there cutting a promo again. He's being very cryptic. Once again, he's calling out Darby Allin for some reason. He's saying, we just want to talk to you. And normally, anybody the caliber of Jon Moxley says, we just want to talk to you, is going to end in violence. It's like, yo, we're not going to jump you. He's definitely going to jump Darby Allin. I don't know where this is going, but I'm locked in. I'm intrigued. I can't wait to see what happens between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin, between Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson, between Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. I'm just locked in for everything that's going on right now. We had a squash match between Jamie Hayter and Robin Renegade. Not really too much to talk about, you know. Jamie Hayter's doing her thing. Saraya and Harlan Cameron are watching the match. So I'm assuming this is going to be a match at All Out, I guess. They haven't announced anything yet, but you know, it is what it is. But speaking once again of All Out, we had a Continental Classic Championship match between Okada versus Kyle Fletcher. And on paper and in the ring, this was a fun match. It was awesome. My only nitpick is I don't understand how Kyle Fletcher got the number one contender, how he got a championship match. Everyone was saying, well, he beat Ishii on Collision. But I'm like, well, he lost to Ricochet last week, so the math ain't math and this doesn't make sense. That being said, the match was it was a good match, you know. They're really doing a good job of pushing Kyle Fletcher. They're putting him in positions to, you know, be the showcase what he can do, even though he doesn't win unless it's on Collision against Ishii or whatever. But, you know, it was a fine match. Afterwards, Okada won due to cheating and shenanigans, and Takeshita comes out to make the save for his the Don Callis family brethren. And another match that was announced for All Out is going to be a fatal 4-way match. It's going to be Okada taking on the winner of Takeshita versus Mortos, taking on the winner of Brian Keith versus Orange Cassidy, and I want to say Kyle O'Reilly versus, is it Kyle O'Reilly? It's Mark Briscoe versus, I think, Lance Archer. And it's looking like it's going to be 2 members of the conglomeration and Takeshita. I'm like, yo, can we just get Takeshita versus Okada? Because that match will go crazy, but I'll take what I can get. It's Takeshita and Okada in the same ring, so cool. Roderick Strong and Hook are going to wrestle sometime in the future. It was supposed to happen tonight. Roderick said, nah, not tonight. Not in Milwaukee, because it's Milwaukee, so yeah. Nyla Rose lost to Mariah May for the AEW Women's Championship. Again, another match. I don't really understand how Nyla Rose got a championship match, but we got to see Mariah May, so, you know, good for her. Good for everybody. Good for me. Good for you. Good for everybody. Deonna Purrazzo was talking. She was saying words, so, you know, they're trying to get her back in the mix. I don't know what title she's going to go after, but, you know, yeah, good for her. But speaking of titles, speaking of women, speaking of championships, speaking of champions, we have our TBS champion, your CEO, Mercedes Moné. She's out in the middle of the ring, you know, she's hyping up the crowd and she's talking. And Sheeta gets on the Contron. She's like, listen, I'm the ace. I'm the best women's wrestler on this roster. I'm the best in the world, and blah, blah, blah. And then you have Adam Pearce, aka Christopher Daniels, come up and say, listen, there should be a straight up one-on-one match. So, Camille, you're banned from ringside. And Mercedes is like, no, why? This is crazy. So I'm thinking Mercedes is going to have somebody else come out and help her cheat to win. And she's going to build up her own group. So, yeah. So, yeah, man, that was this week's episode of Dynamite. Really fun show. I enjoyed it, man. I'm excited for All Out. Still not really over the moon about Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry, but it is what it is. It should be a fun match. Should be a real good match because it's Bryan Danielson. And Jack Perry is real good in the ring as well. I just don't care for this whole scapegoat character, but we'll see what happens. But with that being said, are you guys excited for All Out this weekend? Are you excited that we got to see Arson live on television? A homeless man is out here wandering the streets. Whose house? Swerve's house is burnt down. I don't know. But with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Bees, I'm out. Peace.